everybody, and thank you for joining me today live. I wanted to do a show last night because you know I always do my shows on Monday, but I figured it's Memorial Day, people are probably out and doing stuff with their families. I didn't think that there was going to be much of a crowd coming to watch, so I thought we would delay it to today. And I'm really glad that we did because I got a chance yesterday to prepare all the stuff that I need for the show today. So we're gonna make pupusas revueltas, and I just want to preface this video by saying that I got started before the live show started so that I could get a head jump on the pupusas, and I wanted to try all the different ways of making pupusas because I wasn't sure that I necessarily have the hands or enough practice to make pupusas traditionally. So I wanted to find a way that I could make this video of how to make pupusas at home for people that have never made pupusas before, that is going to be foolproof, you know? So I did that. I took the time just before this video to make a couple of different versions of pupusas to see which one was going to be best for this tutorial, and I think I finally landed on something. So now that you're all here, I think that we should start with the masa, okay? So I already made one set of masa, so I'm gonna use the same bowl to make masa again. Never made masa before or know what maseca is. Maseca is like a corn flour, like an instant corn flour actually. And so if you mix it a certain way, you can make tortillas and pupusas. I know that people do different recipes with this maseca, but I only know how to make the tortillas and the pupusas because, I don't know, I'm not cultured. So let's get started. So for perfect pupusas or perfect tortillas, it says that you should be doing 2 cups of maseca and 1.5 cups of water. I did that and I felt like the masa was really dry. So what I do is I do my 2 cups of masa and I do 1 3/4 cup of water. It's not much, but it makes a difference. And then I add about a tablespoon of oil. It doesn't have to be olive oil or anything. It could be vegetable oil. I'm going to use canola oil today because that's what I have. So make sure that your cup is really dry before you measure out the masa. Okay. Level it out. So here's my first cup. 1 more. I don't even know if I'm gonna need this much masa, but if I don't, I can always make tortillas and we can eat it with steak or something. So I'm gonna get my water right from my sink, and I'm also gonna get warm water. My mom told me that warm water is the best way to get the best dough. So I always use warm water now. You would do approximately a tablespoon of oil, and you can do more. I just find that it like becomes slimy, so I'm gonna do a little tablespoon right there of oil, and then you always want to have water and oil mixed together for your hands for when you're making the pupusas or you're making the tortillas. So I'm gonna mix this around like this. That nice warm water feels really nice. And I'm just going to mix it around. It's starting to look good. Okay, it's starting to come together. So at first it'll feel really sticky, and it'll feel like it's not, it'll kind of just feel like wet, but the more you work with it, the less it'll start to come off your hands. You see how it completely came off my palm? And that's what you want. So this looks good. You see, like it came up off the bowl. It's perfect. So another important thing to know is when you're making pupusas, you want to have a damp towel ready. I use a damp paper towel, and you have to cover your dough, otherwise your dough will get crackly and dry, and you don't want that. And this is what I have left from practicing all day. So what I did today was yesterday I started prepping for today because I knew this was like a 2-day process. I cooked the chicharrones yesterday, and then I let them cool down overnight, and then I like put them in the food processor and made them a puree today. And yesterday I got the mozzarella cheese and I processed it yesterday with a little bit of milk and oregano, and I let that hang out in the fridge all night. So today I took this out about half an hour before the live show because from what I know from making pupusas is that it's really important that your whatever you're going to be filling it with is at room temperature so that it's easier to mold in the pupusa, okay? So let's get ready to make my grandmother roll her eyes. So I feel kind of bad that I'm not following the directions or following like the tradition of how to make pupusas, but I want to make like this hybrid. Like I want everybody to be happy. Like number one, we are keeping the tradition alive by continuing to make pupusas, and then also we are making pupusas, but we're making them easier to make so that we are more willing to keep the culture going. So that's where we are right now. So my masa is done, right? And like I said, you want to keep it covered, and you're just gonna dip your hands and coat them completely in the oil and the water because you don't want the masa to stick to you. And then you take a good sized piece, right? So this is let's say this is like a meatball worth of masa, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it in half. I'm gonna put this part aside. I'm gonna roll this up, and I'm gonna push this down just like that, you see, right? So I'm gonna put this on plastic wrap. I have my plastic wrap on a cutting board. Wherever you feel comfortable, just make sure that your plastic wrap isn't gonna move. It can't just be flat on a table. You'd have to tape it down to the table so it doesn't move, okay? So here's some of my pupusa, okay? So this is gonna be a smaller pupusa, but let's just start small and we'll go bigger. So pupusas, I've noticed with all the different things that like all the different videos that I've watched, they exaggerate. They like really overstuff these pupusas. So so whatever amount of masa you're gonna use, try to use the same amount of relleno. So here's my inside of my pupusa, right? So now I'm gonna take this other part, and you see how my ends are like shiny? That's good, because now my pupusa isn't gonna stick to me. I'm gonna push this down like this, and for those of you wondering where I learned this, I saw my mom do it one day, and I was like, wow, that is like, you're a cheater. But I can't hate on her because I can't make pupusas the normal way, and I don't think a lot of people can. That takes a lot of practice. It's really an art. I think it's a gift. So now we're coming together, right? I'm making sure that everything looks like one solid masa. You don't want to have like creases that show that you folded it over because it can pop open while you're cooking them, okay? So I have my griddle nice and hot, and I like greasy pupusas, so I put some oil down always before I put down the pupusas. I'm gonna push it around like this to make sure that my pupusa has a nice home, and then I'm gonna leave it just like that. And I'm gonna cook it for about a minute and a half on each side because I don't want my pupusa to be dry. Okay, so let's do it again, okay? You take a good amount. I'm gonna take a little more than a meatball size. I'm probably gonna take like one of those giant meatballs. So that amount, right? You take that amount, you can go with your finger just like that and cut it in half, okay? Take one half, put it to the side. Dip your fingers, coat. Oh, make sure your masaka's covered. Coat, right? And then press. Now, for those of you who've never seen Salvadorians, they just go back and forth like this. And somehow, by some magic way, they make a perfect circle. And I can never make a perfect circle. I always have to go like this, you know? And I look like a moron. So, okay, so here's my first half of my pupusa. I'm gonna push it down onto the plastic and make sure that I can pick it up. So you can make it as thin as you want. Just make sure that you're gonna be able to take it off the plastic rack when you're ready, okay? So here's my bottom half of my pupusa. I am going to take the same amount of filling as I took pupusa, okay? Their one-on-one ratio makes the biggest difference, okay? You want a lot of food. So this isn't enough yet. You see how it's not enough? So we'll take a little more here, take a little more there. Okay, the more the better, okay? And if you do get those little cracks, it's pretty cool because then you get that like ooze, you know, like that's like my goal is to get that like cheese ooze. You see how I'm slowly just making it rounder and rounder? And I don't know, Amor, if you can come over to this side. I just want to show them right here. So this is what I was talking about. So you see how you have this line here? You don't want that line. So you wanna put it together. You wanna make that line disappear, because if that line is there when you put it on the griddle or whatever it is that you're using, it can pop open. Push this aside, put this here, and this pupusa is ready. Oh my God, I broke it!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right, let's make a really big one. All right, let's cut this in half, right? Let me dry this up because this is a little wet from me dipping in. Okay, I need to dip because you see guys, I didn't dip, and it's not a lot, but it starts to stick to you, and you don't want that. So you gotta dip like you're just going into surgery. Okay. Okay, make my circle. Doesn't have to be perfect because you're gonna fix it later. Just make a small circle so that you can put your relleno in. So this is a really big one. So let's make a big one. I wonder if it's gonna fit on the griddle. Yeah, it'll fit. Okay. Oh my God. I'm a little afraid. So what I'm doing is I'm flattening the relleno because it's a lot of relleno. And then pushing the tortilla back, I'm pushing the masa back into it so that it's like more even when I actually make the pupusa. So here we go, ready? Oh boy, oh boy. This is gonna be a giant. This is what we should do, you know? We should sell giant pupusas.
That actually came out really nice. It was a nice shape.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but like the bigger the batch, the easier it is for me to like mold it.
Definitely.
You know? But look at this, look at this. It feels really nice and full. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it out on my own, like by just picking it up like I do the other ones. I think it's too big, so I think
break.
I have to go like this. There you go. Ah! I spilled all the water. Okay, let's flip this guy over and put him there. He wasn't ready to be flipped. And I'm gonna put it down. That, look at the size of this thing! Holy! Oh, that was like impossible to move! I broke it!
Looks good though.
Damn it! I was so happy. I was so excited for that one because it's so freaking big.
These are tough. They're tough to make.
This is not an easy thing to do, you guys.
They break easily.
Yeah. I'm sure if your mom is watching or my tia Araceli is watching right now, they're like rolling their eyes.
They're throwing up right now.
They're throwing up. They're like, what's wrong with this girl? Why would she do this? Alright, I broke this one because it was too big to be true, you know? It was a dream. It was my dream. Sorry. And let's cut them in half, okay? Let's take a look here. So, okay, I don't know if you can see it, but you see it's a really nice filling to masa ratio. The masa is thin, the filling is nice and thick, so it doesn't feel like you're eating just masa. Because I've had pupusas that are just pura masa, and it's terrifying. And you can even see it here. It was a lot of masa. I mean, it was a lot of relleno and not enough masa, because you can look how thin the masa is. You know, so like I fucked up a little bit, but I needed to know if I could make a big pupusa, okay? Alright, so here are the rest of the pupusas that I made. I have one more on the griddle. This one came out pretty good. I can see through it that it's like got like a nice filling. This one came out a little too thin for me on some sides, so it wasn't even enough amount of filling. This one came out actually really good. This is one of the good ones. This is one of the first ones I made. I didn't cook it for long enough, but it's really soft, and it kind of feels like, you know, like when they're hot in the styrofoam and they sweat, so they're like soft. That's what it looks like, and like that is, I am living for that. And then same, this one looks good too. This one's basically just cheese. This one's a little dry, and this is because I let the masa sit out by itself. And the same with these three. This is the first masa that I made. It was just, I left it dry, you know? But that doesn't matter. That's okay, because at the end of the day, we're gonna eat it. It's food, it tastes good. It may not look good or be exactly what it's supposed to look like when you have it at the restaurant, or when your mother or your grandmother makes it for you. But I did take the liberty to make the salsa de tomate, and I made curtido with jalapenos and carrots and this really nice red repollo. Okay, so let's try it. I wish that we had like paper plates, but we don't. We have these, which I think belong to your mom. So, okay, let's start with the nice one. All right, let's cut it in half and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, it's a cheese pupusa. Look at that.
It's my kind of pupusa.
Yeah, you love cheese pupusa, so I'm gonna leave this one for you. You want to try it?
Sure.
Okay. I know you don't like to be on camera.
Oh, you try it.
Okay. Okay. I want to try the revuelta one. That's why. Look at this. Okay.
That one's pretty good. Wow.
That's nice. That's a pupusa, I think. Right? I feel like when I see the revuelta ones, they're more orange. Like they have more grease, the chicharron that they're using. So I wonder what exactly they're using when, like, I'm not talking about like, I'm sorry, let me start this over. I'm talking about a very specific place. I love this very specific place for their pupusas, and I want to know what the heck it is that they're doing that makes their revueltas orange like that and the flavor like that. So I'm gonna put a little bit of everything on here, right? And, bon appetit. Good. I like it. Remember I told you how like it had that like styrofoam feel? I like it. It's
soft.
Nice. It's soft.
Yeah.
Okay guys. If you're gonna take anything away from this video, it's that when you make the masa, it's always 2 cups of maseca and 1 3/4 cups of water and a tablespoon of oil. I will be posting this video up as soon as I get a chance to like edit it and shorten it and condense it to all the important information that you need to know, not me fumbling around. And then you guys can try this at home and let me know what you think. And what else can we say? I don't know. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you soon.